Next on Cartoon Chat. This is your animation conversation cartoon chat. I am one of your hosts, Bryan the Baltimorean. Find me here on screenblastpodcast, on Cartoon Chat, on at Democracy, ATHEMOCRACY.com, alongside the man, the myth, whatever he's doing in the world today. New year, new Cartoon Chat.
New Cauldrons. I am K9 Biscuits. That's K9BASKUTS.com. Oh, wait, shit. That .com's not the name. That's K9. That's the website though. Go that. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, with Cartoon Chat, just if you're new here, of course, what we do is we take an animated series, an animated short, or an animated film, and we just talk about it. That's all we do. One episode focuses on that in itself. We just dig into the content in detail. Of course, again, you can go to screenblastpodcast.com to find out about our backlog, our previous content, and check out what else we have going on here. Mark, look, we could have chosen anything. We were talking about this beforehand when I announced, hey, we're going to do Black Cauldron, because this was my selection here. And I was like, look, this is the movie that constantly you hear over and over. It's like this was the death nail to Disney animation. This was, this is a movie, again, it's like, it's just a boogeyman. It's just this thing that, you shouldn't even, did what it did and how it was developed and all that. It just, it's like, I just want to see it. I want to see for myself. Is this actually as bad as it's claimed? Also, it's going to be turning 40 years old this year, so there's another anniversary there. But it's just the curiosity. Is this really as bad? Because I saw Wish, and Wish will forever be to me the worst possible. That's garbage. So I've seen garbage.
I'll get into my history for this movie.
Yeah.
I did know. I barely didn't know this movie existed. I've heard its name spoken a couple times, but I assumed it was a short or something. It was until a couple of podcasts I listened to made me aware of this movie's existence, and I just tried watching it for myself because every time this movie, I think this movie has a few cameos in House of Mouse, or anytime I see a clip from it. I just assume it's Sword of the Stone because I know of the Sword. I haven't seen the Sword of the Stone yet either, but I know the Sword of the Stone's existence. And I just assumed every time something was from that, something was from the Black Cauldron, it was oh, that's from Sword of the Stone,
right?
Because they're both early fantasy,
kind of fantasy deal.
Yeah.
Well,
and they probably reuse animation from it too, most likely.
Well, we'll get into it in brief forms. But look, again, what we do here at Cartoon Chat is we take a little bit of time, we talk about the history, then we move into talk about the brief development. We get into the feature focus, details, the cast, the crew, things like that, and then we get into the discussion about the movie itself. Let's get into the actual, just a brief bit about the lead up. Right, because there's a couple of things that I think are worth noting.
That's a good picture.
Yeah, so this is these are the two co-directors, and then there's the producer, one of the producers of the Black Cauldron there. And I thought, they used to do these a lot for obviously the animated movies there because it's hey, let's see what it looks like. Let's go ahead and have them there as art and all that. But yeah, this is just a cool picture. But the thing about the Black Cauldron is it just came about at a time when Disney was in a lot of chaos. There was a lot going on at the Mouse House that, at post-Disney death, Walt Disney's death, and at a point where a lot of these movies in the Bronze Age were not necessarily as well known. This movie got into development in the early 1970s, and its original release date was going to actually be in 1980. When it first got picked up to become a film, it actually was going to be literally thought of as everyone on the team thought, oh, this could be as good as something like Snow White. That was their expectation, was, like the source material, the books that they were pulling from, really inspired a lot of people. Like, this was a very popular set of books, and it's like, oh, we could really pull a lot out of this. And the book that they ended up settling on as they got closer into development was just The Black Cauldron, and they took a few pieces from two other books in the Chronicles of Prydan novels, but it really was just The Black Cauldron that was the key, and which is why the film is The Black Cauldron. By 1978, this movie just needed to be reworked, so it got pushed to late 1984 release. And in that 4-year span of development, you had just this constant clashing of creative ideas and creative concepts. The old guard thought that one way would be a preference, the best preference and direction to go on in a story. The new guard or the new teams wanted something better and wanted something more modern. They had their own interpretation on how things would work. And so there was just a lot of clashing. At the same time, just around this point, you had The Fox and the Hound, which got pushed back because you had Don Bluth, who had led this team here. He really admired Disney, and he left and ended up just crafting his own team later on, as he left along with a number of animators to go and make essentially the Bluth group, which would later make Secret of NIMH, I believe, in 84.
I know Fox and the Hound lost a huge chunk of its animators.
And yes, Fox and the Hound lost a huge chunk of animators. So here comes The Black Cauldron, and by the time it gets to 84, it's, you get this test screening. And we'll talk more about the things that were cut in the as we get obviously to the end and where obviously the big chunks were cut. But at this point, like, you had Jeffrey Katzenberg, who led Disney animation specifically, and he just said, okay, we're gonna cut a lot here. A lot of this is gruesome, a lot of this is extreme, and honestly, you could look at it one way or another, but if that stuff wasn't cut, the film could be rated PG-13 or R, and it got pushed down to PG in general. So whatever you think about the way that it was slashed and slaughtered, it did affect the movie and how the movie ended up, but those 15 minutes that were cut, around 15 minutes that were cut, it's a point that would have leaned into a rating that Disney just doesn't really dance with.
Yeah, for what I heard, like, those scenes were like fully animated and fully scored.
Yes.
Like, it was like it's possible, like, it was a fresh cut, and I think, like, the rating probably it's possible the rating could have been left over from that original cut, because this movie's very tame, even compared to the other movies that are out around the time as well. As it is.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, the only, like, I guess, dark part is the skeleton section where they're army
and that's
guys
very minimal. Very minimal.
Yeah. That's not nearly like that gruesome. It's just like they get these guys get dragged in the water and come out skeletons, but there's no real gore to that.
And that's because, of course, part of that was going to be deeply much more spent on, all right, let's make this a little more, they didn't purposely say let's make this darker, but the direction was going to end up being darker if the scenes left over were going to stay.
In your history, do you have the mention of the cauldron section?
What specifically?
How that was supposed to be like a special effects show.
Yeah, that was going to you were going to get a lot more out of that.
Okay, yeah, you already got that part.
I don't have that in my notes, but that was going to be absolutely the way that they were going to use that. The unused 15 minutes. Again, that's another portion where you get very minimal parts about. This is the first movie. So we'll talk about this a little later in the sort of stats and things like that. This was the first movie that Disney animated movie that went and used pieces of CGI. So they really wanted to show that off in places like the Cauldron effect there. And yeah, we see it here and there in minimal ways, but we don't get a chance to actually see what their master completion was on that sequence, because again, it wasn't part of the final cut. Oh
no, I was talking about the Cauldron sequence was supposed to have actual little effects, like projector effects and stuff. They were going to actually send equipment over to theaters. Because they did they did do that with Fantasia, where they sent over like sound system equipment to theaters for that movie, and they were going to do the same for Black Cauldron, but it was just too expensive. They just decided not to do it. Yeah, it's supposed to be like special projectors, like I don't know how the effects was going to go, but like from what I found out, it was like special projectors,
just to enhance those moments,
hence that a moment right there.
I imagine when you get the Cauldron-Born, those sequences where, and I like the effect how that looks, where they're moving around and stuff like that when they start walking. I wonder if that's a moment where you had to, if the projectors were actually on the screen, if that would have looked even more immersive to the audience if they actually were able to afford that. But by the time you get to 1985, you're looking at the budget like was mentioned. We haven't mentioned it yet, but the budget already ballooning so much that we can't just drop these in a bunch of theaters. We can't, we could, but I mean, how much more of a loss would we have had?
Yeah.
So
we can probably try to create that effect now, just like Disney do the re-release it in Screen X, the Black Cauldron Screen X event.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, how much money would they potentially lose? They should put another $100 million into it, guys. Please do it. Yeah. Let's move on a little bit here. We'll talk about the crew. Spend a little bit of time on the crew here. Again, I talked about, this was based from the Chronicles of Bryan by Lloyd Alexander. That's the full set of books that originally were planned, and then they kind of, found a story that they wanted that they pulled from that took about 3 of those books. Notably, the core one was the Black Cauldron.
I haven't read these books, but from what I heard, this came out after Fellowship of the Ring, and it does rip off some parts of Fellowship of the Ring. I guess some fantasy
because this came out in the second half of the 21st century. So after you're talking after Lord of the Rings, and it's
And I think also the animated movie came out in the 70s too, so there's probably some influence on the Disney part as well on that.
That again, and that's where again I was going to talk about the thing with Black Cauldron might be one of the reasons why it got assaulted potentially so much is the time period it came out in. You compare that now to if you look at this movie, I'll get into it. But let's get into again the crew here. So this was written and directed by a duo of Ted Berman and Richard Rich. So Ted Berman, this guy was a valuable animator. He was a director on a bevy of Disney projects since joining in the 40s there. He had a hand in Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, Bambi, Peter Pan, Lady... you're talking about the golden and silver age of Disney animation, right? That guy, he was critical. He was also a story writer on a handful of animated short films and Disney features. That includes The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh and The Rescuers, which were just a decade previous to The Black Cauldron. Then you have Richard Rich, and this guy I wanted to spend a little bit of time with this guy because this guy, he was the assistant animation director on several Disney features between the 70s and the early 80s. He would actually end up doing the Bluth thing where he would build his own animation studio after being pushed away from Disney after The Black Cauldron. And his first major project post-Disney was The Swan Princess. Now, Mark, I know we don't know much about The Swan Princess. We're not into that, but The Swan...
Fucking 11 movies?
But, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, this is his baby, right? This is the thing that was originally based off Swan Lake. The first film was released in 94. There have been 12 films in this franchise.
What year did the last one come out?
The last 2 films came out in 2023. Both of them in 2023. And by the way, he directed every one of them. This guy has directed every single one of these movies.
Folks, check your subscription tab tomorrow. We got the next Cartoon Chat series.
We're going through every single one of these movies. No.
Every day.
By the way, Mark, I don't know if you know this, but Richard Rich also...
Richie Rich.
The producer of Alpha and Omega.
Yeah.
And, I didn't know. He was the director of 2... I didn't know there were 5 Alpha and Omegas. He's the director of 2 through 5.
Yeah, there's an infinity amount of those.
That is how many do you need? Like, this guy, it's like, all right, look, congrats on the success.
Those are very weird furry movies, and
yes.
Furries that have no taste. I'm not, they enjoy those.
I'm just saying, like, you could spend your
time...
Not
saying that furries don't have no taste. I'm just saying the furries that have no taste. There are furries with taste.
Yes, there are furries with taste, but...
We have taste.
What?
Don't read into that one.
But yeah, so, but this duo, so the point being here, like, this duo, Ted Berman, Richard Rich, they actually had directed the previous film from Disney. They were co-directors on the previous film, Fox and the Hound, right? So they were already, like, they were on this track. They already kind of had this going, right? We talked about this with Strange World to Wish. I believe that was the same team. And it's like, all right, like, are they going to do better? I don't fucking know, but it didn't turn out well. That might be wrong, but I believe there was a team that was on a previous movie that moved over to the next movie very recently in Disney, and it was like, I don't know if those are the teams that you would want. So, again, they weren't the only writers. There were several other writers that had gone through, had tweaked the stories over time, things like that. Again, so the music was by Elmer Bernstein, and this guy, the previous year, he had this guy scored Ghostbusters the previous year. And then a lot of his stuff was just scrapped during the, the whole wipe situation. So the final cut that we get is a neutered version of the guy that scored Ghostbusters' work.
That reminds me of Kingdom of the Sun, how they had all these songs. It was it was a whole musical, and then The Emperor's New Groove. There was we're gonna scrap all this shit.
Insane.
And we gotta use something. So they we gotta use at least one of these songs, and they used
Was it Cusco?
No. It was a song they used at the end credits. It was My Best Friend. It was a very slow song, but it's so unfitting to the Emperor's New Groove because it's shoved at the end credits. It's just a song at the end credits, but it's extremely unfitting to the actual movie
the
itself.
tone of what the final product came. Yeah. That's I can't imagine if you did this work and it's like, all right, I just came off of Ghostbusters, we're doing a Disney, whatever the condition of Disney was. I mean, you're still scoring a Disney movie, and then the final product is, slashed, cut, all that stuff, so you lose a lot of the intention that you ended up pushing into this film. It's like, it had to suck. It just had to suck. But yeah, by the way, on screen, this is one of the character designers and animators on the film, Andreas Deja. He actually had a website. He had a blog a number of years ago that he had just put up a lot of this early concept work that he had done. This was back in when it was very early on, what the Black Cauldron could have been. It's like how these characters look. How does the mind was open. Tim Burton had character designs on this, and it was they just kind of went with a direction and said, okay, we're going to work with this instead. But a lot of people over time were going out and putting their own spin on things just to see, all right, how can this actually work in the end? And obviously we see what we get out of the movie.
Again, the designs are they feel, I guess, very Disney. Again,
yes.
Like I mentioned earlier, before I knew this movie's existence, I mistake some of Sword in the Stone because a lot of these designs could fit into the Sword in the Stone.
Right.
And we're going to get to that long name, Princess Ellen.
Princess Ellen Way.
Princess Ellen Way. She looks like a younger version of the main character of Sleeping Beauty. I forgot her, Aurora. She looks like a younger version of Aurora.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Let's get through the cast, though. Taran was played by Grant Bardsley. You have Ellen Way, again, Princess there. Susan Sarandon. You had Flowendor. This guy, again, he became... he's later on in the film. From about the midway point on, he's in the film. He's played by Nigel Hawthorne. You've got Gurgi. We'll talk about Gurgi. John Biner.
Oh, Gurgi. That Gurgi!
And
it's the Gurgi movie!
And the Horned King, John...
the Horny King.
I knew you were... Yeah. played by John Hurt. Yeah. The Creeper, though, I do want to shout out the Creeper. This guy had a great voice. This is the guy that... He's the right-hand man to the Horn King. He's got a great voice.
The Goblin
That's
freak.
Phil Fondacaro plays the Creeper. And he's got a lot of fun. Clearly inspired. Again, you get this Lord of the Rings type situation there, but, yeah.
Yeah, He-Man.
All right.
I just can't look at that Horn King picture.
What?
I cannot look at the Horn King picture and not think of Skeletor.
Oh my god. Oh, that's crazy. Alright, we're gonna move off the cast, get into the stats. So this came out July 24th, 1985, and we're gonna talk about the competition, what 1985 was like. Kind of crazy. But let's briefly talk here. We want to talk budget. Budget here was $44 million. At the time, this was the highest budgeted animated movie.
Animated at the time, yeah.
Of course, it's funny that Disney continued to keep that streak with Tangled later on, but Tangled ended up being a much better movie in the end, obviously. But, budget, though, $44 million. Adjusted for inflation, not even close to Tangled, funny enough. Because, again, the way that things worked, obviously, you weren't the pay rate and all that. Like, you're still going to cut less anyway. Earnings, this thing...
$1.
This thing was awful, floundered horribly. Disney even... in
2 bits.
When it went to go into physical media release, it's like, this is one of those where they did the vault thing and they barely put this thing out in the vault. They don't give a fuck. They were like, all right, here.
Lock it up, make sure it doesn't escape.
Exactly, right? It's like, we'll do a couple VHS releases, we'll do a fucking DVD release. There you go, bye, get out of my face.
Where's the vault nobody wants bundle? Like, packing it with Song of the South, like whatever crappy, whatever crappy live action movie they had, like Jack Darn
Dragon. Do people actually like Pete's Dragon?
They made a remake of it, so probably.
Probably, because I was gonna say you could probably bundle that in there. I don't know.
Well, just bundle all the Disney Vault Rejects bundle.
Yeah.
Nobody wants you sell the Vault bundle.
Jesus. The runtime for this movie was it was an hour and 20 minutes.
Too long.
So here's the thing, right? But it was. Again, originally they had another 15 minutes on top of this, right? So you imagine if all that was going, this would have well exceeded the standard length of a Disney movie. Every Bronze Age film, we're talking about between like 1970 or about 88, ending with Oliver and Company, I believe. It's like those movies ranged from an hour and 11 minutes to an hour 23. They did not go longer or shorter than that. So this kind of sits right in the heart of there. If this got another 15 minutes, you're talking about far outranging that. And maybe this sort of been...
Oh, well, the movie itself is like an hour and 15 something.
It's more of an hour and 50, exactly.
Yeah, because there's the credits are the rest.
Yes. And you get rid of that prologue, you get, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah.
Well, that still counts towards the movie.
That does still count.
I usually don't count end credits for every movie in terms of time span.
Yes.
Unless something happens within those end credits.
Again, this was the first PG Disney animated film, but again, you adjust for inflation of release, it's like every Golden Age film would have been PG, right? Like almost every single Silver Age film probably would have been PG. It's just a situation where you put characters in certain vulnerable positions. That happened in almost every Disney movie. Up to that point, it's like, what are we talking about?
They should have went farther. They should have went for rated R and make the character say the F word like every 2 minutes.
There you go. Yeah, that's what they should have done. I don't know if you saw Chips Ahoy, Mark. This was originally preempted.
I've eaten a couple. I've eaten a couple.
Oh. But yeah, funny. That was gold, Mark. A+. Yeah, no. Again, this originally was preempted with the Chips Ahoy short. I'll talk briefly about that. I do have a little bit of.
I didn't look at the short it came with, so I didn't bother to watch it because there's a ton of Disney shorts.
This one was like.
I've probably seen this before. You,
Mr. Donald Duck, you probably have. Yeah. One thing I do want to talk about before we get into the full discussion of the Black Cauldron there. Again, this movie just had a weird point of release, right? Like we talked about.
Is that the log from the Lion King? The magical aging log from Lion King.
Again, like talking about it being a financial loss, though. Again, this came out at such a weird point because you're talking about if you look at the films here's a couple of films that released. Let me just say that simply. That released within a month of the Black Cauldron, right? Like we talk about. Okay, you think about movies that are icons that stand the test of time. You know what came out within a month of the Black Cauldron? Back to the Future came out within.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was that the first one?
Pee-wee's Big Adventure came out. Now, that was still like a sleeper kind of thing because, Pee-wee was known, but it was more for mature audiences anyway, so, it's like, it is what it is there. But that became an icon, too. Sesame Street, Follow That Bird, is a little adorable adventure. It didn't make a ton of money, but it's one of those things
I like the movie as a kid, I remember that.
But you put
Sesame... It had Muppet cameos in it.
Yeah, you put Sesame Street in theaters, people are going to go see that, right? Like, yeah. What were you about to... You asked a question. You asked a question.
Oh, I didn't ask anything.
There was also earlier competition that came out that year.
Yes.
You have The Goonies, which we both haven't seen, but again, that's another cult classic. You talk about...
Oh, yeah. Everyone's a gooner.
Everyone... you talk about 85 and not goonin'. But the big one for Disney, and they make a note about this in Waking Sleeping Beauty, that they were embarrassed about it, is the fact that they lost to the Care Bears movie that came out the same year.
There was also at the time there was a re-release of E.T.
Yes, and that had already made so much money before. It's like, it's just like, you're not getting any attention. Like, who really cares? And yeah, that's
Care Bears care.
You fit that in. Good one. Yeah. So before we lock in on the full discussion, because we're about to get into the film discussion now, Mark. Here's what we did this before. We did this. See, sometimes we do this, sometimes we don't, but usually we do. I want to do a brief review, thoughts of the film before we get into the deeper discussion of, go play by play into the film itself, all that stuff. What do you think about this movie now that you've seen it? Briefly, we'll talk we're talking 3 minutes or less. Like, what do you think?
It's not awful, but it's pretty worthless. It's like a nothing burger. The story writing is like very lazy because things just happen. The characters just walk into the next part of the story, and it's just luck happens. Like the guy, the main character just finds a fucking magic sword, and it just does all the work for him. It's like we're gonna get I'm gonna get more into it.
Is that your core thought though?
It's like a nothing burger of a movie.
So what I would say, and I wrote notes on this, so don't mind me looking constantly, but to me this is like...
Don't mind me rambling.
This is a great example of how bad can evolve over time, right? Like, this, as much as I agree with Mark, the story-wise and all that, yeah, it's very limited, but just the painted backgrounds, just the scenes themselves, there's more passion, or at least there's more work put into this that seemingly than any frame, not to impact, not to hurt these people again. I do this with Wish all the time. But Wish, Strange World, this was a pleasure to visually watch. My eyes were glued to the screen compared to looking at Strange World and Wish. Because it's just, the colors aren't dull here. There's at least something that's impressive because we're out of this, you know what I mean? Mark, we're just out of this art form now. So there is something still pleasurable about seeing this, even though the story is lacking and things like that. There's still something pleasurable about it where we're not seeing that from Disney right now. As much as Moana, it's oh yeah, cool, but they didn't even, we talked, but back to Wish and Strange World, it's that's another, Strange World isn't a great example of another directionless story, but it just doesn't have anything that's really appealing like this does in terms of what it looks like visually. And I was so glued visually to the fact that, you're just going back in time. I do think that it's interesting that, this goes hand in hand with Treasure Planet. Treasure Planet is, again, it's a film that has a male lead these are not ties. I'm not doing the Puss in Boots fucking Sinbad thing, but just the fact that these go...
I haven't seen Treasure Planet, so I don't know.
Right. So,
unless it follows the same beats as Solo, because you said Solo is Treasure Planet.
Not one-to-one, but
okay.
But Treasure Planet and this film just go hand in hand to me because they both have male leads who go on that hero's journey, and then but in the end, they end up being both financial failures, like for Disney. And they both end up getting this cult classic status from a lot of people. And they both also impact how Disney moves in the next direction. Post, Treasure Planet, Disney moves in a certain direction. Post Black Cauldron, Disney moves in a certain direction.
The funny thing I just want to keep bringing up about Treasure Planet is like the directors and we've been like wanting to make Treasure Planet for a while, and
for a long time.
David Zassel's all we need those guys for like favors. So they were like, "Can we make Treasure Planet?" And you're like, "Sure."
You say Zaslav? I think you mean Katzenberg.
Katzenberg. Fuck.
Yeah.
What is it? Because he's also terrible.
Because you were thinking of one boogeyman instead of the other. Yeah.
How old is that? It's Zaslav anyway. But Katzenberg.
I hope he's ancient, so we can get to someone that likes animation.
Yeah. Well, no, it's like the fucking the Simpsons when they look at a painting of Mr. Burns, like it's bad. It's bad because it's Mr. Burns, but it's good because he's old and that means he'll die. But anyway, like Katzenberg, like, well, I was like, sure, I'll make it, like, and like he never got them to make it, but when he finally left, they made it, and like, of course, it failed, and Katzenberg, like, yeah, like I said, you guys shouldn't have made it. No.
Right. It's like, no, I didn't say that. Retarded, of course, duh. And then what did his studio make a year later? Sinbad. So shut the fuck up. You made a fucking, you know what I mean? It's like, what are you talking about? Get the fuck out of here, fucking Katzenberg. But yeah. So, but point being, like, look, it's this typical adventure movie that attempts to ride off a cute character and then forces an unnecessary romance tether and, just like you said, does a convenience, and then, and that's fine, but, that's what this movie is. Let's get into it. Alright. Brief, right? Now, you might wonder, wow, we're starting very early.
You haven't played it right now?
What?
Oh.
No, it's paused. But you might be wondering, hey, Bryan, you're starting really early. This is the Walt Disney Pictures logo. What are you doing? So this is one of the first uses, I believe the first actual use of a theatrical Disney animated film using this logo. This is probably the...
It is?
This is, yes.
I didn't know that part.
So this is, no joke, one of the most iconic symbols of the entire Disney brand forever and all of time. No matter what happens with the logo intro, later and later, like this was this here. It starts here. It ends in like 2006 or 7, and this point in time is thought of very memorably. Like this is the tag here. This intro tag is used for Renaissance movies. This is iconic, or at least when it came out. So like you talk about a logo that would become so synonymous, kind of like Nickelodeon, who also rebranded the same year. Like, this was the first time that this was used in Walt Disney animated features. So,
and I often complain about like how they just use the same CG logo in every movie now.
So here,
and like
and again,
like when they, for me, just to spite me, when they finally start changing it for every movie, it's going to be through the use of AI.
Oh, they announced it?
Oh no, that's the most like case scenario.
Yeah, because
I'm just thinking realistically. He's not announced anywhere. There's no evidence anywhere. But like, it's most likely these logos are probably going to be made through AI. Like, we're probably going to see a bunch of production, if not movies, but like probably a bunch of production logos in AI.
Yeah, but not to spend too much time on this logo, but at least the one the one after this. So 2006 and forward logo had a little variation. The new one that they've had post 2022, you can't do too much customization with that because it spends so much time. It's like a jack off for Disney. It's like, we're gonna do a full rotation around the whole. We're gonna go past the train, and we're gonna. It's like, it's gonna be the same every time. But one thing I will say, the one thing about this is Disney Plus sucks, or Disney sucks at Disney Plus, because they will choose whichever one they want to use the new intro for. Obviously, this was used during the Renaissance era, but now if you go and watch any Renaissance era movie, the new logo is what's covered it, right? So it takes a little bit of that heart, that immersive setback, right? When Black Cauldron started and I saw this, it kind of threw me back again as a kid.
My favorite one they added the logo to on Disney Plus is the Nightmare Before Christmas.
What?
I'm like, oh yeah, because I'm like, you pussies, that's New Line Cinema, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
That was now it's a Disney movie.
That's so stupid. But yeah.
I think they added the logo to that when they released it, like back in theaters. I think it was like 2007.
Then they started putting the
when they first
Disney
had the
intro and all
3D.
that stuff. Yeah, stupid.
Like now it's officially Disney movie.
No, we loved it all.
What's New Line Cinema? This is Disney.
We always loved it. What are you talking about? Yeah. All right. Briefly. Chips Ahoy. This was the short that came out. That didn't come out.
Even that logo looks similar. The cookie has to have come out after this.
So Chips Ahoy debuted 30 years before the Black Cauldron, but it was tied with it when it came out in '85, right? So the point is that Chip and Dale, they were looking for it. They wanted to go to this island that had a tree with acorns all over it, right? So they go and they're looking for a way to get over there. They steal Donald Duck's boat in a bottle, and furious over the theft, Donald literally attempts any method, even seaborne methods, to get the boat back. So through the chase, Chip and Dale end up with a boat full of acorns, and Donald is stuck on the island. So Chip and Dale, they get their acorns, they're good. Donald ends up being stuck on the island with no way to get out, even though he's a duck. But the point is supposed to be, it's like, aha, you're stuck on the island, you're screwed.
Well, he can't fly either.
But he can't fly either. So, but that's the short. It's only 7 minutes. It's on Disney Plus. It's fun. It's a little adorable short. It's one of those you've seen. Mark, like you say, you've probably seen it before. So yeah. All right.
I had a VHS of Donald Duck cartoons.
Yeah, you've got the vault. All right. So,
had the vault.
So
my parents couldn't finish paying for storage, so everything got taken away when I was a kid.
Everyone, play the violin.
That was lost in storage too.
Fuck.
Gameplay.
Oh my god.
I don't have violins anymore.
So, all right, let's get into the actual Black Cauldron, right? So we're gonna move through play by play, but briefly, right?
They're gonna press play on it.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that was a thing that we have. We have a screen below us to.
You can't see it. We ain't trying to get copywritten.
So it's there to be able to be seen. This is gonna be running far behind because we're gonna move through this movie.
Oh yeah.
But
well, if probably not even for this cartoon chat, but or you can probably cut this part out, but if need be for certain scenes you're trying to talk about, if you want to give a direct example of a clip, you can just fast forward on here.
Yeah. In relation to this movie, there are a lot of moments where the movie's pace, where the movie, I have to remember and chalk it back up to the fact that, you look at the time period, they do this a lot, where you get a lot of exposition in this prologue, and then throughout the movie, you get the same exposition again. Sadly enough, they do that still in the present. But, for instance, Lord of the Ring, War of the Rohirrim, same fucking thing. They did the thing, they say it again, they say it a third time. This movie, you get a little prologue, narration that explains the cauldron is a danger, right? That's the whole point. You get a theme about the cauldron. Cauldron's scary, guys. If it gets into the wrong hands, things go bad.
I'll watch this movie 50 times over Walraham.
You said what?
I'll watch this movie 50 times over Walraham.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you can at least, there's some, again, I'm not getting into it. So, you get to the present, you get to, or wherever, our setting, right? And we see that there's a farmer's assistant, and he just has this dream. He watches a pig, but he called PenWen, but he dreams of being this sword-swinging knight, or this guy who...
He's the assistant pig keeper, which
I didn't know we needed that. But that's a thing. It's a thing. I didn't know that...
He's not good enough to be it. He's not a pig keeper, he's the assistant.
Assistant to the assistant manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's his whole thing, is he's just that. But he dreams of, he doesn't want to be there. He wants to, go out there, go on an adventure, beat the evil being, the Horn King, and, get a warm welcome from all the success, right? And, yeah, that's his whole deal. That's literally his whole thing. Oh, fuck, Jesus Christ. So I had a picture between this and that. Either way, whatever. There's a lot that happens between here and there.
Oh no, he dreams of becoming a warrior, but for in his spare time to act out that fantasy, he abuses animals.
Yeah, through all that, he imagine that he just starts. Imagine a kid that just beats the crap out of its. Well, then again, I will say part of that is partially what I like about this movie is like it is still true. Like kids do that all the time.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm not like against accurate like stuff. Like
I wasn't a very PETA friendly kid back in the day either. So
yeah, you drowned those 12 goldfish, right?
I'm gonna be honest. I was Darla from Finding Nemo.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh, shh. Just...
Wake up, fishy! Wake up, fishy!
No.
They based that character off me in that movie. I don't know. I don't know how a Pixar executive like fucking knew me. I don't remember meeting them, but like they somehow knew me and animated me as a girl.
Yeah, and I don't have this in the image, but PenWen is I think you have those classic Disney like that's a classic expressive sidekick animated character that doesn't really need dialogue, right? Like again, we've seen that. Like you have Pascal from Tangled, right? Like that's a perfect example. Expressive enough. Now, usually, I'll be honest, PenWen doesn't like it's the you can tell what PenWen's thinking, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, right? But that's fine because they're the secondary character.
It's kind of hard to communicate the audience about PenWen without that spider web.
What? Why are you bringing Charlotte's Web into this?
She looks like the fucking Penguin Charlotte.
She does. She does, you know. Look, maybe the reason at the time is because this felt like, you know, it felt like this. Maybe this felt like AI written to people in the 80s. Like, wow, they're just pulling from Lord of the Rings. They're just pulling.
Oh no, that Disney probably had that technology super duper early.
Probably did. But what we don't realize is that PenWen is actually this oracle. Like, she's magic bacon. If you put a spell on her, she's a magic bacon that'll help you.
No, it's not a spell. It's just simply she's like dips her nose in water.
Yes. But I mean, but what's his name has to cast something. He has to say something. She gets sleepy, and then boom, she goes, and then you know the water reveals whatever the heck she has in her mind. You know.
Yeah,
so there's some sort of.
She can reveal like next week's lottery tickets.
Basically, yeah.
So it doesn't seem to be a limit to seeing the future either. I don't know why they're not like constantly looking deeper. Like,
how can my phone?
Oh, it seems you get caught by the skeleton king. All right, and it seems you get thrown in a dungeon. All right, you just have to avoid that.
I do find it funny though that they're like, I wonder what's happening because they do the forecast thing. He looks in, and then it's kind of his fault that the Horn King like finds out because like the Horn King's like. Who the fuck's doing the magic portal? And then like once and then he's like, wait, we gotta pull it back. They now know the Horn King now knows that the pig is here. You gotta send the pig out. It's like, why did you just do that then? Why the f did you even do that? If you knew yeah, I mean he's an almighty evil character and you just asked to see what does he want? You just asked the fucking magic thing, your magic bowl, what does the Horn King want? And of course, the Horn King's gonna know. This
pig holds a special power. If it can see visions, but if the visions are active, the Horn King will see it. So look, see, it, like I'll let it do a vision right now. So, oh shit! You gotta get out of here, man. He's coming.
I was like, what? This is a terrible power.
Isn't that the fucking same plotline in Fellowship of the Ring? It's like. The Sauron knows your location and shit if you like look into the ring or something like that if you wear it.
You know, hey, who needs a ring? You got a pig, you know, magic bacon.
Okay, so
magic bacon.
I mean, I haven't read the books, but like, I mean, so many questions about this fucking world. Do all pigs have this power? Why does this pig have this power?
We never know. We never find out.
And
no.
Why is this the only pig ever?
So Dolben just knows already. He hasn't told him. This is like the lightsaber from Obi-Wan. Like, he hasn't told, but except that apparently they've been living together. But he hasn't told him that, like, the pig is important at all until this point. You would think that would have been told at some point for being the assistant to the assistant manager of pig keeping. This is a magic pig. Do not, don't let him out of your sight. All that stuff.
Where did this pig from? It's like the only pig in this world.
This is the only pig that has magic powers. It's the only pig in the world. So he has an adventure. Taran, guess what? He's got an adventure. He gets to go now because that's all he wanted. That's what he wanted. So congrats, bud. Here's all you have to do. Simple. All you have to do on your quest. Mark, I love simple quests. All you gotta do, is, you know, all you gotta do is get some milk from the grocery store. That's all you need to do. Make sure you keep your wallet on you. That is all you need to do. Just make sure that your wallet is safe. Get to the grocery store.
Whoops.
That's it. And within 10 fucking seconds, this dude is daydreaming and lets the pig run away.
Oh, no. You're skipping too far ahead. Oh, before that. Alright, you, a fucking kid, needs to go into hiding with the most, like...
valuable asset in the world. The nuclear, you have nukes. So, you have the nuclear button.
I'm gonna send you to go into hiding. Here's a fucking bag with an apple and a piece of bread in it.
Have fun. Have fun.
That should last you.
That's good enough. That's good enough. I'm not gonna tell you if I'll be there, but you need to get the fuck out of my house. Get out of my house, because I did the spell. So now he knows that it's here.
And, like, I'm not skipping ahead, but, like, when his apple gets fucking eaten, it's like, you had more food than that, right? Is that the only food he's gonna have for hiding?
Oh my god.
No drink or anything?
Nothing.
My diet Dr. Kelp?
Yeah, so, so that's where it gets to, again, he goes, and, again, he loses the pig in, like, 10 seconds. It's like, did you not see the magic spell 10 seconds ago? Your pig is magic, right? So you know. It's not that no one's told you this. You know that the pig is magic. And you lost it in 10 seconds because you were thinking about the fucking vision of, like, everyone giving you a hand job because you beat the Horned King. Like, dude, come on. So, he goes and, he's like, where's my pig? And there goes Gurgi. Oh, man. Ooh, got the Gurg. He's the Gurg.
Everybody do the Gurg.
Everyone do the Gurgi. I just love that expression where he's got his hands up. Well, that's the Gurgi. That's Gurgi right there. Gurgi.
So this is like Gollum if, like, he was furry.
Yeah. Yep.
That's about it.
That's literally about it. And I love, for this type of time period and this type of movie.
He wants munchies and crunchies.
Like, this was, whether you talk about the puppeteering characters, like, of Henson or whatever, this was all the rage to put in movies and TV shows at the time, to have an adorable little character. That was the rage, right? Like, that's the 80s. That's just what they did. And I'll tell you what, like, it just ends up being as annoying as Jar Jar Binks. Like, and that's kind of his thing. Like you literally just said and explained. Like, that's the character. And, like, I do love, there's a line where, like, he's getting, like, Taran is mad at him, and he's like, poor Gurgi deserves smackings and whackings. It's, I was like,
Gurgi deserves a spanking.
I was like, oh my god, dude.
Bends over, and he makes the eyebrow face, like,
Gurg me. Gurgi me. Alright. So, and again, so he finds, this is funny as hell, right? Because again, they go through the whole apple thing, and then it's like, he's like, oh yeah, I remember seeing your pig, it's over there. 3 seconds later, the dragon picks it up, and it's just gone.
His fucking Mega Charizard gets swiped by Mega Charizard X.
It's just gone. It just the pig just gets captured.
Also, I like how he describes the pig. It does it have a curly tail? Like, does it have ears like this? And it's like, you're describing a fucking pig.
I'll be 100% honest. This is the type of thing that I would do if I were stalling to let the dragon pick up the pig. Like, I would absolutely be doing is this what a pig is like? Is it pink? Is it, like, I would be doing that whole thing to stall to get the dragon to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just funny as hell. Like, so it's like, alright, so it's captured by dragons, and I will say again, like, through this whole movie, again, the background art is, I don't know what the standard was at the time, but to me, this is still, again, you compare to now, where everything's CG background art, and now some movies have done it well. Like, we saw that with Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Spider-Verse did it well. TMNT did it well. But, like, Disney, by comparison in the present, like, you're not seeing great-looking backgrounds like this. Like, this is still, again, to me, a treat to look at. Especially when he's looking, now, again, when you look at, it doesn't blend well. Like, his character didn't blend well with the background. when he's looking off over cliff sides to see that giant castle, right, and it's pink in the sky or whatever, it's kind of violet. Like, that didn't blend well. But it's still, the backgrounds, when he was walking through the forest, to the point, or even when it gets to that castle, it's like, that's, I will say, like, again, there's a lot of work that's put into that.
Yeah, I didn't notice any, like, too many animation hiccups. Like, the whole movie just looks fine to me.
Yeah. So at first, Taran's like, he's trying to, this is, again, a point in the movie where he doesn't want to do certain things. He doesn't want to do a thing by himself, but he realizes he has to man up anyway, because Gurgi's like, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not going to the fucking castle. That's where people go to die. Go screw yourself.
Oh, no, Gurgi's like, don't go there. You're my friend. But you just met him.
Yeah.
You just fucking met him.
Exactly.
Like, and that's going to be a theme throughout this entire movie. Like, everyone instantly becomes attached to each other, and like, all y'all just met.
Yes. Yes. But again, this was a point where, again, like, he kind of has to kind of man up and be like, all right, I'm doing this myself then. I kept saying I wanted to do the adventure. I wanted to go on the adventure. I wanted this is part of it. So he goes toward the castle, and he sneaks his way past guards and all that. Don't mind the picture. I was like trying to find.
Why? You knew what you were doing.
That's just it's a funny angle. All right.
What did you do to that picture?
So he sneaks his way past the guards until, and I like the way he was like, they have him go through this, like, it's, there's, you have a dog that's very violent and obviously like a guard dog there, and he gets to an area where he sees where PenWen is, and he just kind of makes them catch him. Like, he puts himself in that situation because he falls, right?
I like how you said don't mind the picture. I'm just forced to look at it as you talk.
So we see...
It's still like over there!
So the next character we see is the Creeper, who again is the one that's staring at the pig longingly. And again, he's just he's the Horned King's underling, so he gets all the lashings, he has to do all the bidding, and it's just I couldn't imagine that sucks. But again, that's the Creeper, right? We get introduced.
He's into getting choked,
and he's into getting choked apparently. Once Taran falls, again, this is where he realizes, oh man, I can't fight. Because, like, he tries to use a fucking broom like it's going to be, one of his, imaginary visions, and that shit gets destroyed in about 0.3 seconds. So, he just finds himself in an extremely vulnerable position with no solution. So, he gets to the point where it's like, hey, he sees the Horned King. I love the reaction in his eyes to seeing the Horned King. That is good. Look at the guy that has almost no fucking face. Guy looks like a freak. You should look. Your reaction should be what Taran's reaction was. So
is this like
This is where he's surrounded by all of the guard. He's surrounded by all the other evil men, full-size men,
and they're all eating, and like there's also this belly dancer on the table. Gypsy. Oh, that's something to remember.
Yes, I believe. But the pig's in the middle, right?
Okay, yeah, because like the Horned King enters like a his entrance is like a Travis Scott concert. There's like fucking smoke effects.
There's smoke, yeah.
Laser lights and smoke effects.
Yes. It's like welcome. It's like the devil in South Park coming in. It's yeah. So he has a choice here. And the only choice he has to keep himself alive, unfortunately, is to basically unlock the Black Cauldron to the Horned King, right? He doesn't purposely unlock. He doesn't really unlock it, but he shows that the Black Cauldron's real. It's like, so basically, to get away, he's to a degree, he's shown that the Black Cauldron's real, but he kind of escapes, sort of. Just by kind of stumbling upon the dish that revealed the whole thing and escaping. The pig gets away, he gets captured, and now he's in the dungeon.
Oh no, and also...
What do you got?
I guess I don't know, either the water is very hot or poison, because when he splashed with the water the pig is sipping, the king is like... Ah!
Yeah, it's like, did you not bathe in 10 years, buddy? Like, what?
Yeah.
Because the pig seems to have no problem with it, but you're over here like, you know.
It isn't like, It doesn't translate as hot water.
It's not bubbling or boiling, but, you know, the way it's reacted onto him. Maybe bathing, maybe he should be called the non-bathed king or whatever, because that's what he is. Ha ha, funny joke. But, so, the pig's off. We don't know where the pig goes, but the pig's off. But he's in the dungeon now. And there's a moment before she shows up where Taran realizes, like, he did literally nothing that Dalbin asked him to do. Now, Dalbin kind of gave, like you said, it's Dalbin's fault that he gave him, like, some crumbs and, like, all right, protect him. But he still did nothing. Nothing. And Taran's just sitting there like, fuck, I literally didn't do anything that he asked me. It's simple.
Like I told you, hide from a nuclear explosion, and like
you ran towards.
I gave you like a half-eaten bag of chips and no water.
But then out of the blue, like this is what's like. Okay, this is supposed to be like the evil lair, and God forbid who knows what happens to her.
The architecture here sucks. I mean, like who the fuck does not architecture, like the fucking construction here sucks.
Yeah,
nobody checked the fucking floors.
I just don't understand. Like, are you telling me that she's looking to escape, but she has a magic? So okay, let me explain. Princess Elenwoy, she just appears, and she says, "I was prisoned," but she also has a magic creature, pixie creature that. By the way,
forgot about that thing.
That only appears sometimes and doesn't other times. So like, by the way, that's CGI. She's looking to escape, even though it's like, all right, you seem like you know your place around here, but maybe you don't. Maybe you're just getting freed. I don't know. But her point being is she got captured because the Horn King thought she would have some sort of way to get to the Black Cauldron. Okay, cool. You know.
By the way, her name, Princess Aurora, she's
Elenwoy.
not. Oh wait, fuck. Aurora's a fucking sleeping beauty. But she is not a part of the Disney Princess line at all.
She's not.
She doesn't make a cameo in Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Well, you think that the movie that bombed itself out of existence is gonna? I mean, we talked about this as well. Atlantis' princess doesn't make a
I know, but the funny thing is like she is literally a princess. She is royalty. Yet but she's not a part. In the Disney Princess line. Yet the Disney Princess line has a fuck ton of honorary princesses.
Yes. They'll throw anyone in there except for, a lot of people. So, look, I mean, I actually, again, yeah. So
all the dude is getting saved by the girls' movie's progressive!
Yeah, again, this is again, kind of a reverse trope on that. She saves him. He's also kind of hesitant because she said you can tag along. Then he asks, and it's like, can I go with you? And she's like, I just fucking said you could. Could you fucking come along? And it's like,
I don't give a fuck. Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So, they travel through and they travel into they sneak through. By the way, again, this thing, it's like, wow, this place I thought was going to be guarded, but I guess not. I don't know what this castle is. Whatever. It is still fun. It is still visual. Whether or not it makes sense, it is still a fun idea. You're traveling through the dark passages of this old castle that's been taken over by the Horned King. It's clearly not his castle, and we find out literally a couple steps further that the crypt that they're in is presumed to be the guy that actually whose castle this was. This is a legendary figure, and Taran takes the sword from this long dead guy. And, and they keep...
Legend has it, whoever's the most useless, so do all the work for you.
So, again, they keep sneaking through. They find Fflam. This guy has a magic instrument that's basically like Pinocchio, so anytime he lies, it goes out of tune and pops with strength.
It's only used on him and ever only used on him.
Only used on him.
But he has a whole lie detector on him.
Yes. The princess and Taran get split. And again, look, I understand the whole magic, it's crazy how that works and all, but, look, I thought this was fun, man. I can't say that it's not fun. Like, doesn't make sense. Like, no, but he is like this kid that just, it's like having this boyhood dream type deal. Like, you just got this tool that just does this for you, and he's just having fun. This dude is laughing. He's slicing.
Well, that chase is like, the most exciting part of the movie, and I'm not saying it's particularly exciting, but like, it's the most exciting part of the only exciting like part of the movie, because after that it doesn't get any more like better. It doesn't get any more exciting than that.
Because nothing really grows between the characters all that much from then on anyway, either. But I love the fact that, again, it just feels like he's able to... There's this I do feel good about the fact that he was able to do what he wanted to do. Like, he got the chance to do it. Like, I do feel like, you see this dream that he wanted to do, and, it's early in the movie. It's still kind of early in the movie, but at least he gets to do it. And he's having a fuck ton of fun doing it. And he's kicking ass. He's taking names from bad guys, even though he's not doing it himself. And he's laughing, and I love that. And they get to escape the castle. And, it's like, all right.
Have you noticed the thing about that sword? Every time it swings, every time it pokes something, that same music starts up.
Yes.
Like, it's like, but like every time, it's like not even something major. You think it's like a triumphant moment every time the sword, like, oh shit, the sword, it's like the Avengers theme, like, oh shit, it's getting real. Like,
dun,
no.
dun, dun, dun.
Every time it, like, swings out like an object, every time it pokes a barrel, it plays that music.
Yes. But yeah, like I note the music note, absolutely noted. Yeah. But the trio, they stop for a second. They, all that stuff. This, by the way, is right after they stop for a second. They stop for a second, and the trio become a quad group. They are a group of four, because Gurgi returns. And Gurgi knows where PenWen is.
Gurgi wants munchies and crunchies.
So he shows the way, and they end up in the kingdom of the Fairfolk, which is underground. That's...
They just have to be nice people. Like, hey, we're gonna look after the pig. We're gonna tell you where to go to find the Black Cauldron. Also, what is there? Because like they got the goal was go into hiding, and then the new goal was, because it turns out the main character was bad at that. Then the new goal was
find the pig.
Find the pig. They got the pig. The current goal is to find the Black Cauldron. Why? What are they going to do with it? How are they going to keep it from the Horn King?
I mean, technically...
They can't destroy it either.
Technically, they don't know that the Horn... He thinks that the Horn King knows where it is, but he doesn't technically know where it is yet.
And what is the point of finding it?
Because you're supposed to defeat the... I don't...
Yeah, there's no point to this movie.
So they go... But they find one of these fairies that knows where the Black Cauldron was, and so there they go, boom, and now they go to this area with three, one sec here, the place is called Morva. There are three witches that have taken ownership of the cauldron. One of them has this serious lust for Fflam. This guy, by the way, there's a moment where it's just they were having fun. They had the guy miniaturized. He's bouncing in boobs. He's
somebody was into that.
He's having a good time.
These 80 movies. They just allow the animators to go wild.
Yeah, absolutely. The witches explain that the only way to stop the cauldron's negative energy. Skip the point here. One of the witches has a plan to loosely trade the sword for the cauldron, but they don't explain that the cauldron doesn't actually work, because you have to sacrifice yourself for the cauldron to actually take away the negative energy. You have to willingly do it too. You have to be
Alright, well, here's my solution. I throw a cube of sugar into the cauldron, a fly willingly flies into it. There you go.
It has to be a... No, it has to be a... They said it has to be a A living sacrifice.
There we go.
Yeah.
Fly.
Sacrifice. Yeah, if you look at the contract, that could have been like a mosquito. Yeah.
It's like... Oh, wait, you haven't seen the movie, but like... Never mind, I can't spoil. It was at... I'll say at the end of Beavis...
Was it Dogman?
No, it was at the end of Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. It's gonna be a while till you see that movie anyway. Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. Beavis and Butthead have to go back through the black hole to like stabilize it, and then like at the end of the movie, a bunch of shit just gets sucked into the black hole, and the two watchers are like, oh. We probably could have just thrown a brick in there and would have just, like, solved it. I didn't need to go in the black hole.
No. Oh, shit. Well.
He's fucking hilarious. Alright.
But, yeah, so, again, so they think that means a living thing. The way that it's implied is it's a living thing that had, like, a human or whatever, or something living has to do it. So there's a moment, though, where so after that, it's like Taran feels doubtful about himself. He's like, man... I fucked up this whole way. And he kind of has. But it's like, I fucked up this whole way. I don't believe that, like, maybe I'll have to sacrifice myself. And Princess, again, I don't know how feelings work, but suddenly, boom, you gotta have this in these 80s movies. Boom, she likes him, even though she's kind of, she had to drag him.
This argument was stupid because, like, he was like, yeah, but you're a girl. You just call me a fucking girl? Yeah, princess. Just call me a princess?
That was like 5 minutes ago, by the way. Like,
although they still just met each other.
Literally, like the days haven't passed from what we see. They just kind of go into the fairyland because they got out of the castle, they walked a bit, they had the argument, they walked.
Also, the old man is in his underwear in front of minors.
But they walk from the argument. Gurgi takes them to the fairies. The fairies take them to the witches. The witches tell them all this stuff, and then suddenly, boom, you're cool. And yeah, yeah, whatever. But by the way, within seconds of that, they're recaptured by the Horn King. Like it's like boom, they were followed, they were captured. Boom, now we're here, right?
Also earlier, I forgot the Horn King was like. Because he wasn't, they weren't willing to show the the main character. What's the name again?
Taran.
Taran was not willing to let the Horn King see visions through the pig.
Yes.
And Horn King was like, then I'll kill the pig. Yes. And we're like, then you don't.
That would take your visions away. What? Yeah, that would.
Then you have nothing. What the fuck?
Yeah. I will say, I forgot to mention, like...
Probably just really wants bacon, honestly. But, like, fuck, I don't care about the real world anymore. I just want bacon, honestly.
Yeah, I will say in the very beginning, though, I forgot to mention that, like, right after the whole Taran has the... I believe it's, like, when they're still at the original homestead or whatever. They cut to the Horn King, and he's just, like, fucking excitedly talking about... And one day I'm going to revive all you motherfuckers, and I'm going to be the leader of all you. That's me, the Horn King. I'm going to be the badass. Like, that's basically what he was doing. Like, it's like, alright, dude. And this, like, went on for a little while. It's like, because, like, the music would, like, triumphantly rise, but then he would still keep talking. And it's like, okay, alright. Was that the end? Are we done? And then he kept talking, and then it was finally over. It's like, okay, you guys kind of miscued that one. Yeah. So they get captured by the Horned King, and this is where we get to...
led them to the cauldron. Congratulations, I did the work for him.
Yep.
Because the witches had the cauldron the whole time, right?
The witches have the cauldron the whole time. So the only way that they would have gotten it is if they were to have bargained for it, or threatened them, which I don't know how...
And the witches have magic, so, like, the cauldron was protected by the witches' magic. They just made everything worse.
No, what's weird, though, is, again, later on, Fflam, or whatever his name is, says they don't have magic, which doesn't make sense, because they do have magic, because they can do all that floating and shit. I don't know what that means. Because remember, they stopped having magic the minute he said, wait a minute, you don't have any powers. And it's like, but they do. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they're literally in the fucking clouds.
They're in the clouds. What do you mean they don't have power? What are you talking about? What?
They make little mini tornadoes.
Yes. Like, what? So, yeah. So again, they led them to it. They're all hanging up there, and the Cauldron-Born army is... Uh-oh.
It's my.
It's time for Mark to go to sleep.
Why is my touchscreen not working? Fuck. All right.
There you go. All right.
Keep going. Yeah.
But this is where the Cauldron-Born army arises. You know, and I guess Gurgi went through. I guess Gurgi went through an arc because he was a selfish fuck earlier, and then he just says, "I met you 5 minutes ago.
Don't kill yourself, please." I keep forgetting his fucking name. Taran, because like Taran is like, "I'm going to kill myself for the world."
Yes.
And Gurgi's like, "Don't be suicidal. Like, don't kill yourself. I'll kill myself." And Taran's like, "Gurgi, no." I'll finally.
Yeah, he kind of he's kind of half-assed in the way he tried to save him. It's like,
no.
I mean, I really wanted to get laid, so thanks, buddy.
No, Gurgi, don't do it, no.
So, and then here's the dumbest part was again, this is where we miss so much of this movie, where we miss a lot of the, again, that 15 minutes of the actual undead army there being alive. Taran was supposed to have a sequence.
That weird double effect with those skeletons,
which was, I thought, interesting enough.
It is like a cool. I mean, that whole summoning section is pretty cool. It's
more interesting than anything Wish does. So
what isn't more interesting than Wish? I saw there's a video of 10-hour video of grass growing. And it's shit, this is fucking kick ass. And I just got done seeing Wish. I'm like, damn, this slaps. Shit. But that army sequence is pretty cool. In Disney World Japan, I think there's this kind of dark ride, and it ends with with
Gurgi flying down
on the and breaking the cart. There's an animatronic Gurgi just drops on the fucking Ainz's head. They just throw it at him. But no, it ends with the Horn King summon an animatronic of the Horn King summoning demons from the cauldron, which is the animatronic is over a cauldron and there's light effects and everywhere and shit.
Yeah.
And it's and it looks cool. And they should have. I wish they had something like that over in the North American amusement parks, but not that cool.
No, because I mean, I don't know. But again, so we completed Gurgi's arc. There's a lot of stupid in here because again, you got a lot of cuts and all that. You got a lot of cuts and all that, but so stupidly, Taran there's a moment where Taran, because they're running away. They're able to be free during this collapse of this castle. And Taran goes back toward the cauldron. Maybe I can save Gret. It's dude.
He's dead!
Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? He's in the cauldron.
Meanwhile,
the Horned King?
No, meanwhile, the Horned King's army barely got past the first door. That's a slow-ass army.
Yeah. They barely...
They all lose Wi-Fi connection the moments before they got past the front door.
They got to the front door, that's it. And surprisingly, the Horned King was just kind of far away, because it's hey, your army's losing Wi-Fi reception. Then he doesn't get back for a while, and then he is old, so it makes sense, I guess.
And then he finally goes to check the router.
And again, number one, it's stupid on top of stupid, because what Taran does is stupid, but the way they get rid of the Horn King is the dumbest possible thing I've ever seen, where he just gets too close. He just goes, no, and it just gets wrong angle. What
the fuck is going on? Let me check the fucking cauldron. What? I gotta fucking troubleshoot this shit. And he sees Taran get the fuck out of the way. Gotcha. Whoa! Ah!
It's what did you think was gonna happen? What?
Just shreds all of his fucking flesh and shit. It should have went more cartoon. He gets near the cauldron and shreds his clothing and it letting you hear a whistle whoa.
Or it's
in his box.
It's like Jim Carrey in Sonic 3 where it just. That's it. But yeah, that was to kill off a villain that I guess was kind of not interesting anyway, in the most lamest way possible.
He was threatening before he got eyes.
He was.
He had a cool look to him, but also he does nothing.
He does nothing. Yes,
he does like he enters rooms like a laser light show with a laser light show.
He's what's his name from Star Wars Episode 7, where it's like you don't know what he's doing.
Snoke.
Yeah, where it's like, wow, he looks cool. He's got a projection of himself. I guess he's He's a tall boy. And that's it. So the castle collapses, and by the way, they definitely push on the idea that the princess now loves Taran, because like every time Taran tries to do something, she's trying like, but Taran, don't do it, Taran, because don't do it. And she never finishes the sentence, but she's don't do it, because like don't do it, please, no, Taran. It's like, okay, all right. Now if she was doing that because he was being fucking stupid, because it's like, dude, can we just go? Stop trying to do side quests. The fucking castle's collapsing. That's different. But the way that they had her dialogue, like, read it, it's like, she sounds like she's about to say, because I love you. It's like, just shut the fuck up. We need to finish this dumb shit. We gotta get out of here. I found
There's a weird scene where, like, Taran just, like, picks up something from the ground, and, like, the princess just looking at her ass.
I don't know what DLC you've been watching. Is that one of those?
And I actually found a 15-minute extended cut.
So like, yeah.
Somebody posted on Pornhub.
So strange enough, one of the parts of the 15-minute cut was apparently like she was going to be partially like nude or whatever. Like it's like a weird like thing where like that's not a part that was cut.
Nude minor scene.
Yeah, it's like why would you like? Okay, guys, what are we doing here?
For what purpose?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. Like, hey,
I think that's fit. Where was this? Where's the source of this? What the fuck?
No, like that's one of the pieces of. I mean, that's widely reported. You talk about there's the battle that was going to be a little longer battle of Taran and the zombies. Then you had the zombies just marching in general. Was going to be a little longer. You had the guy that was going to be sucked into the whatever or killed by the undead people or whatever. Then there was the part where she was in a vulnerable place and like her clothes are ripped and she's not partially nude, but like like kind of, that's how it's described.
Oh, tethered. Her clothes are tethered,
but enough to be like partially nude. And it's like, all right, like how partially nude were you guys designing? Because that's a little like, hey, I don't know if you guys know.
I guess Ariel nude.
Yeah, and then again, she was completely nude in like a few scenes. Like you can't see her. You see her silhouette, obviously, when she's splashing out of the water, but she's supposed to be hypothetically completely nude in that scene. I
guess like some of these like they like
they have fun. I don't know.
Yeah,
Disney animators, they have fun. So I found this like, okay, so they win. The villains are dead. Taran's just fucking sad. And he's still
everyone's sad. Like fucking.
I don't think were they all sad?
The MPV of the movie fucking just died.
Yeah. Like, but apparently they're all sad. I mean, I don't know, like Fflam guy, he's like, alright.
Except that guy.
So he's like,
oh right. God, the Horde King is dead. Oh
no. And he's like, alright. We're gonna bargain for that sword, right?
No, I was thinking of Creeper, never mind. Because Creeper just shows up like, oh no, the Horde King's dead. Oh shit, he's dead. Oh yeah!
And then he doesn't. Then the castle collapses on him and he dies, right? Isn't that the whole implication?
No, he just flies away on a dragon.
Oh, he flies away on a dragon because that's going to be for.
He flies away on Mega Charizard X.
That would have been Black Cauldron 2, the creepers creeping. Yeah.
No, Black Cauldron 2, Gurgi's Journey. That's realistically what it would have been.
No, that's like Anastasia. No, that's because of.
Dude, if Black Cauldron was a hit, like it would have like a direct-to-DVD. Like it would have a late sequel, like one of the late direct DVD sequels in like the fucking 2000s.
You gotta wonder if the Black Cauldron did actually well, how much would that have affected the momentum of the Renaissance? Because like they did a lot of reworking there because of the failure. But if the failure didn't happen, are they just like kind of like, whatever, and like you just don't get like juggernauts because like some decisions don't get made? You wonder. But
I can only imagine a live-action remake we would have, like, by now would only have to be better.
Yeah. But anyway, but the guy with the music guy, he's like, all right, witches, we're getting that sword back. And for some reason, instead of the most valuable sword ever, Taran wants fucking Gurgi. Now, this sword could solve everything for the rest of your life. You could just slay motherfuckers and control the town. You could be the, like, I understand the whole idea is, well, it's not coming from him actually, so, you know, it's not really his power, but
you could use it on the Horn King. You could have.
Yeah.
Never did.
But, like, instead, he wants Gurgi. That's what he wants. And so, you know, the witches say they can't do that.
I come to bargain.
Yeah, he comes to bargain. But the witches say they can't do that, and then for some reason the music guy says, wait a minute, that means you don't have power. And it's like, wait a minute, but they do, because they're fucking clearly magical. I don't know what the fuck that means.
I know, he's like, ha! Pussies!
Literally. And they go back and all that stuff, and so it goes back, like, he comes back. It's like, alright, what are we supposed to do? Gurgi's back.
They should have kept him dead, because they didn't say which state he could come back in.
What is the... Are we actually happier that Gurgi's back, this annoying fuck, or do I want a sword that could literally... Because you know some of those fucking bad dudes are out there now. Like, they could have gotten, like, what happens after the credits? They walk 5 feet, and then a bunch of them are like, hey, you motherfuckers destroyed our goddamn castle. We're gonna kill you all. But you didn't take the fucking sword, so ta-da, like...
I hope, like, they get back to the fucking... When they get back to the village, and who was the guy the old guy in earlier? Dolben.
Who, by the way, sees them, and he's like, I knew he would have done well. Apparently he was watching them. Like, the pig came back at some point. The pig was back at some point in that house. Lets him get a portal view, and he's like, I knew that they'd be good. It's like, really? 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 Because you just set them off. Really?
He just watched the same movie we did.
Literally, that's all he did. He just watched the movie.
You know. Shit, that pig gets Disney Plus. Holy shit.
Yeah, but yeah.
I hope they get back to. I hope they get back to that guy. I forgot the name of it again.
Dolben.
Dolben. They get back to Dolben. And he sees Gurgi. Like, what the fuck is that? Ah, kill it! Kill it! He throws it in the fucking pot. He cooked like the fucking the pig food in.
Yeah.
No, not Gurgi doesn't want to go back and Cauldron. Ah!
Dude, I can't believe that the only character arc we really get is Gurgi. It's the only character arc you get in the whole fucking movie. It's just Gurgi. Because he learns that he shouldn't be an asshole. He should sacrifice and be strong. Everyone else is basically the same person. Now, technically...
No, he learns that, like, in less than 5 minutes after his introduction. He's like, Gurgi, don't don't go to that castle. You're Gurgi's friend, even though I just met you, like, 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. So Gurgi also, by the way, everyone's happy, and Gurgi forces a kiss between these two, so good job, Gurgi. You know, nothing like early sexual assault. And the group lived happily ever after, apparently. And that's how the Black Cauldron ends. It'd
be funny if he didn't know his own strength, and he, like, tried to force it, like, fuck! Gurgi didn't know Gurgi didn't know he was strong. He like just smashes their heads together.
He came back like that chick from Secret Invasion that got the
all the powers.
All the powers, and just smashes their brains together.
Well, we don't know what kind of creature he is, so he's probably super ultra strong. Like, cause like I thought I think Gurgi has like a furry orangutan or some shit. So he just like, oh shit.
It's just like, why the fuck wouldn't you take the sword, dude? What are you doing? Like,
did he want to be a warrior in the beginning?
That's what he wanted to be. I guess he got scared as shit.
He wants a fucking weird-looking monkey.
I just realized he's living in medieval times, so I guess he wants to die in like 3 years by a raid of people that burned down his little village, and he doesn't have a sword to fucking protect himself. The fuck is he gonna like? Take the fucking sword. Gurgi lived on. He sacrificed himself. You dumbass. What are you doing?
Apparently, like in the books, the Horn King is like a minor villain. He's not even the main threat.
Yeah, there's 5 books, and the Black Cauldron, he's just one of, I
guess Disney was probably thinking this could be a series or some shit.
Yes.
I don't know if they were thinking about franchising around that time. Were they franchising anything?
I mean, there was potential because, again, they wanted to utilize the whole Chronicles of Pride, and they only used 2 or 3 pieces of 2 or 3 of the 5 books. So there was still source material if they wanted to really go down that route. Then Disney, later on, you get later into the Eisner era, they just want to write their own fucking stories. That's where you get Pocahontas 2, like fucking nightmare fuel. You get fucking Mulan 2, which isn't, it's okay.
Oh yeah, I also remember like that what's on screen just reminded me because they're on the fucking ferry part. What's part of the extra 50 minutes is there's more of those pixie things.
Yes.
In the extra cut, which is already a useless scene, and for some reason the grumpy pixie just follows them for a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. That whole sequence, it's like this must have been nice to look at, but it's a waste of it's padding the runtime. You know what I mean?
I guess somebody's kids get cameos because there's
literally you got a bunch
really bad. There's kids that are really bad at voice acting.
Yes. Well, they were for now for present day standards, because we remember, like, you've watched some of those '80s shows. You get some kids' voice. It's like it's kind of how they sound. But yeah, it's just kid cameos. You got the girl floating on. I want to see the pretty lady. Yeah, I want to see it. It's like, okay, all right, whatever. So, I
want to see the pretty lady.
It's, again, I'm trying to remember there's like so many movies where it's like, okay, so the world, maybe it's Strange World, where the world is in danger, but they want to go off on this other tangent route, and it's like, again, it's like, we gotta go. We can't be playing games. But there's no urgency at all here, anyway. Like, there's no need to be, there's kind of an urgency, but there's not.
There's no real goal. There's no real goal here.
There's no goal.
Again, why are they fucking looking for this black cauldron? They're told they can't destroy it either.
Yeah. So you're told, yeah. So to me, like, this is, usually this is where we get to the legacy. There's no, like, look, realistically, the whole thing about this is, like, you get a lot of redirecting during and after, where they move into the Great Mouse Detective. People assist on Who Framed Roger Rabbit. They learn a lot. They utilize that teamwork and learn from the crew there. They continue to work. They work on Oliver and Company. That more of the teams work on Little Mermaid. It just kind of snowballs. You keep moving. Disney becomes a goddamn empire. You get the Renaissance. Ta-da, right? Like, that's, in core, this was a critical piece that leans into getting out of the depths of hell that are thought of as the Bronze Age. And then you get into the Renaissance era. So, that's the Black Cauldron. Yeah. I think, sadly, like, this is, again, an example of, like, you just don't know what the bar just gets lower and lower. Sorry, the bar seems to get lower and lower, because you look at this movie, and there are just some visually impressive things, because the previous way to produce animated features took more work and more Now, again, I'm not trying to say that those that are in CG animation aren't working hard. But look at Strange World and tell me that looks like more visually interesting than any bit of Black Cauldron. Or tell me that Wish looks like it had more passion poured into it than Black Cauldron.
Had more passion poured into it than Black Cauldron.
It's like...
There, I told you.
You told me. I don't see it. And so...
that's the problem with Wish. They didn't make a Black Cauldron reference. They made all those references.
They should have.
Actually... I probably would have made more sense instead of like...
Wait, isn't the book just the Black Cauldron?
No, it's just a book. It's pretty much the Dark Hole from Doctor
That's the Dark... Yeah, that's what we taught. That's what
what I was about to say is, it should have just been the Black Cauldron instead of a book.
Yeah.
That would have been a better reference. Like, he just sees it's like a cauldron, a whole cauldron behind glass. It's like, no, I shouldn't.
Yes. Mark. This was fun.
Stop saying my name so much.
Mark, this was fun. Black Cauldron. There was a little part we were gonna do. We were gonna use. There was a YouTuber that captured the DVD game part, and we were gonna guesstimate. But it's late, and we got to keep moving. And the Black Cauldron.
Oh, if I knew you wanted to do that, I would have tried to order the DVD myself.
Yeah, it's okay, Mark. This is the Black Cauldron.
Well, next time you're gonna do a cartoon chat.
We are going to put as much effort into this. We're going to put more effort into this than Disney treats this movie. So, yeah. But the Black Cauldron.
I would say, like, that. You mean on the writers? Because in terms of animation, I mean, this movie has some effort in it.
It has effort, yes. It's the story that sinks, yes. Yeah. But I don't see this as a bad movie at all. Well, I don't see the animation as bad. I don't see the art as bad. I think the music obviously was tied with hand behind back because, again, the way that it was cut around and chewed around and all that. So a lot of this was just like you have editing effects, you have just writing problems in the way that this story goes, and characters that kind of just appear and don't have a point, and then they're gone.
This movie did have merchandise. I think there was like stuffed animals like Gurgi.
That makes sense.
The pig.
That makes sense.
Possibly Creeper. I'm probably like back during its release, and other than that, Funkos. But there's Funkos every fucking.
Funkos are desperate. They just want to put any. Can you want a license with us?
Is literally everything.
Do you want a license with us? We'll license to you anything, any single thing you want. So yeah, this was a cool blast from the past. It just kind of, again, like, I'm not going to repeat myself, but this was a fun blast of the past. 85, congratulations on 40 years ago, this thing releasing. It's a shame the way that it turned out. I will say, I'm not saying anything else, actually. Black Cauldron. Mark, I have been Bryan the Baltimore.
It's the year 85, and we chose to see this. We should have saw the re-release of E.T.
No, I'm seeing Back to the Future like 5 times. I love E.T.
Okay, we're gonna do.
I'm watching
feature.
Back to the
We're gonna
double
go
feature.
See Back to the Future and then see a re-release of E.T.
There we go.
I don't know. I'm hearing some buzz about the Care Bears movie.
Also, this was
a lot of people are going to see it.
Also, this was the year of like Rambo and Rocky 2 or whatever. Like Stallone was huge this year. Stallone was huge in '85. Like, he was the guy. It's crazy.
It's more popular than the Care Bears movie. It's getting a lot of buzz.
Yeah. Fucking Care Bears, man. I have been Bryan the Baltimorean. Find me here on Cartoon Chat. Love to do these. Joined alongside the guy that decided to do this with me late in the evening. This is like a Tonight Show variant of the Cartoon Chat. Mark, we got it done this week though. It's not Sunday. So Mark, where can they find you? Nowhere. They can't find him anywhere.
They can find me at K9 Biscuits, K9biscuits.com. That's K9biskuts.com.
Guys, we appreciate you. Of course, go to CartoonChatPodcast.com. Go to screenblastpodcast.com, and you can find all of our episodes. You can find the catalog. You can find our YouTube stuff. You can find it all. You can find our podcast feed. You can find Gurgi.
No, you can't. That was a lie.
You can find Gurgi in spirit there. That's where you can find.
Gurgi still died. I think the characters hallucinate. The fumes from the Black Cauldron cause the characters to hallucinate. That's the theory.
I think theoretically they all died in that fucking castle.
Oh yeah, no. The entire ending is hallucination from the fumes of the Black Cauldron. Gurgi has still died though.
What if the whole thing?
He still jumped in, but like it turns out the witch just lied. If you jump in the Black Cauldron, it just does nothing.
There's a lot of
die.
There's a lot of 70s and 80s like animation content that clearly is just people were high. They were just doing whatever they wanted. And that's how it goes.
What were you dudes smoking back then?
Like man, I'll tell you, man. Like imagine if like the pig isn't even a real magic pig. They were just high as shit, and then the whole quest he's just high. The whole quest is high. The princess isn't real. None of it's real. He's talking to fairies.
Pig gets like a high or drunk on something because like every time they say that chant, the pig gets like
he gets fucked up.
Weed eyes.
Yeah, he gets weed eyes. He's fucked up. Yeah, what happens when that pig dies, man? You guys fucked?
Either he's probably putting something in that water because it burns the freaking the Horny King like Sah!
Yeah. Maybe I'm forgetting. Maybe when did they actually get the sword when the witches died? Did he get both?
No. They took the sword from him.
Fucking stupid. All right.
I mean, as far as they know, there's like nothing. There's none. Like they got Gurgi. So.
Guys, we appreciate you for watching.
They got meat. All right, they got like cooking meat. Like who knows what kind of maybe the kind of animal Gurgi is delicious. They can cook them or something.
Appreciate you for watching, guys. Have a good one.
I don't.
Get them out. Get them out, Morva.
Line out, everybody.